moved on to the next slide, that the prophets of old were astronomers and astrologers. They were brilliant. And as they were prophesying, they were actually reading the stars. They were able to read the story in the stars. And so they were foretelling of the future, because it's all being mapped out, if you like. The roadmap is in the heavenly realm, the creation, and the stars that God reads today to explain to mankind where we're all at. Okay. Now, being on the earth as a man means two things. That first of all, the obvious, God is a man. And all human beings are God in the flesh. Whether you're awake to it or not is the difference. Whether you behave like God or you're being deceived by Lucifer, that's the difference. You're either awake or you're asleep. This YouTube site is for the awake. They are the first born. They are the first fruits to God. They are the 144,000 who reached the immortality of their flesh body as well as their soul, because they have come to the knowledge of the truth, which is that Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall is exactly who he says he is, Yahweh, the returned Lord Jesus Christ on the earth to lead us out of hell. It's been created by the devil, who's been in control now for eons. And all human beings are made in the image of their father and mother. Okay, moving right along. Now, the concordance that you hear us, I've switched slides on before. Okay, the concordance that we refer to, the Strong's 1830 concordance, it's a fairly recent addition to the Divine Plan, and this is what Brian uses to read time and distances, etc., including the dimensions of the Great Pyramid. These are all numbers, these times, the distances and the dimensions of the Great Pyramid. Everything is numbers. The layout of the concordance, again, the alphabetical listings of all of these words, both the Hebrew Old Testament and the Greek New Testament, from 1 through to number 8,674 in the Hebrew Old Testament, and then from 1 through to 5,624 in the Greek New Testament listing of the words there. So when you're given a 4-digit distance, it might be 36.78 kilometres. Well, that number is read as 3678. Go into the Hebrew concordance. What is that number? It will tell you the story of that number in Hebrew. Switch over to the Greek. It will tell you that story of the number in Greek. And therein is the divine plan. It's all been concealed, hidden until this time now. Only the Christ being back here as the key to the house of David, having the intelligence, as God of course, to unravel and reveal to mankind, first of all the deception, and then of course his divine plan that's been there all along, couldn't be understood until the advent this century of computers. More recently, the programs that have become available through the evolution of the intelligence of man to be able to put these things together, and then finally the advent of the internet that God uses to reach his own. That's the medium by which every eye will hear, and every eye will see, and every ear will hear what it is that he is saying. It is the opportunity, cyberspace, the internet. And moving right along. Oh, I've already explained to you the 8,674 words in Hebrew, 5,624 in the Greek. Now, making very clear to you, the New Testament is the devil's chance to seduce the masses via Christianity. This is why Christians are not part of the 144,000. They have been totally seduced by the devil through his teachings and the churches. They reject totally the returned Lord Jesus Christ, and they are represented by the pyramid that has, without it, the capstone. It has been rejected. We'll get into that a little further on, and I'll keep going. Now, the word total, Hebrew Old Testament, 8,674 words that are listed there. Convert those to days. Think of them as days. When you divide that number by 365.2424 days, that is in a year, then you reduce it to the number of years that it is, and it's That should be 31.68 years.
No.
3.
3.168 days.
Oh, 86. Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah. 31.68 years. And this is Lord. In Greek, the value for the word Lord is 800. The value for Jesus in Greek gematria is 888. And the value for Christ is 1480. That's all in Greek gematria. Add them all up and you get a total of 3168. Remember this number. This is the key to the house of David. Scoffers will say the Almighty did not know this, or that limiting the Almighty to the confines of Lucifer's New Testament. Reiterating, the New Testament is a construct totally of Lucifer and is how it has deceived all of Christianity. Now, mankind requires a method to follow what Yahweh created. The method and why. It's all to do with time. We are in what is called now the fullness of time. This is when we are approaching the Milky Way galaxy equator. So, all right, we're moving at 69,000 kilometres per hour. Our solar system is moving that fast. The planets are being pulled by the gravitational field of the sun. If we were not moving, we would be sucked into the sun in 1/1,000,000th of a nanosecond. There are writings out there attributed to the Essenes. Jesus was an Essene. We were Essenes. The writings that are circulating on the internet and are deceiving the many has Jesus as a raging vegetarian. Not only that, it also has him telling his disciples that the earth does not move, it stands still. That is total bullshit. You're being led up another garden path and rabbit hole. If you're not hearing what Ryan is hearing today, goodbye. Leave this site now. Continue in your rabbit hole and have fun where you're going, because it's a deception. Okay, so he has to be born back in the fullness of times before the end of the age, because he has to. The only way onto the earth is through the womb, his mother's womb. He has to grow up and mature, become the man, and then the old man, because it is the soul of Jesus. Yes, first time round, body of flesh, cut off at 33 years. However, his soul was always the Father, Yahweh, and so today he is the old man. He is the Ancient of Days. At this point in time, he's 66 point whatever years old, and he's an old man. But it's the Father who is back for the judgment, his judgment of what has mankind has been reduced to upon the earth. He's got to be here to explain to us what it's all about, because there is nothing else out there that comes anywhere near the truth of what he explains. And he says that he had to wait until the demons under the control of their god Lucifer. Now Lucifer is a parasite. It invades the human flesh like a virus, causing men to be driven by unusual lusts for power, control, and fear is their dominant opiate. They use fear to control the masses. Fear, terror, everything that comes through mainstream media, that's what it's all about. Murder, mayhem, all of these things. Now, so time is the movement of the earth. It's the measurement, it's measured by the movement of the earth, which I already explained to you is drawn by the northward fall of the sun, which traverses space at 69,000 kilometres per hour. And it will draw the solar system back across the Milky Way equatorial line December the 21st, 2012. That's what that date is all about. That's the truth about that date. All the other BS about Nibiru, all kinds of things, or New Age speculations of what will happen on that date, what it's really all about, that is what it's all about. It's when we cross back over to the northern side of the Milky Way galaxy. And it is the end of days. That's that cut-off date, the time of the end, prophesied by the prophet Daniel, who was a true prophet of God, along with Isaiah, Ezekiel, and the book of Revelation is true. They didn't know what to do with that. Now, we've got the diagram here of the movement, the sun pulling the planets behind them as they rotate themselves. They also orbit the sun. And